All right, some breaking news on top of 9 a.m. The Prime Minister, Narendra Modi, in an interview to a newspaper has now said that he is opposed to incidents like Dadri lynching and the cancellation of Pakistani singer Ghulam Ali's function in Mumbai due to the protest by Shiv Sena. Speaking on the Dadri incident, the Prime Minister has said that it is an extremely sad incident, but clarified that the central government had no role to play. He also hit out at the opposition for playing the communal card by blaming the BJP. He added that the opposition is indulging in politics of polarization and the BJP has always opposed such kind of incidents. The Prime Minister also said that all such incidents can be avoided through dialogue and debate. Let's go across to Executive Editor Javed Ansari, who joins us on the phone line for more on this story. Javed, a couple of hours back, in fact a few hours back, we got the interview and we are playing that interview also of the second in command in the BJP, that is Mr. Amit Shah, saying the exact same thing. Now the Prime Minister coming out and saying, is there a realization, though belated, within the BJP's top brass that they need to speak out on these incidents?
But indeed it is. It appears to be so. Otherwise these things cannot be seen, would not have happened in isolation. The Prime Minister has spoken, as has his second in command, Mr. Amit Shah. So obviously some thought has gone into this formulation. Nonetheless, it's a welcome sign the Prime Minister has spoken. It would have been much better if the Prime Minister had spoken earlier. But better late than never. The Prime Minister has spoken, and hopefully this will have a salutary effect. And more than that, this will be a message to those who believe that since there is a BJP government at the centre, they can get away with these kind of activities. The Prime Minister now having taken a position should send down a message to those who've been indulging in these kind of activities for the last couple of months.
Absolutely. And if you put the interviews of Amit Shah and the Prime Minister together, perhaps there is a strong message for BJP's very own people like Sangeet Som, whom Amit Shah said should not have actually gone to Dadri. Javed, do stay on with us. Let's also get in Indrajit Kundu. Indrajit, this entire interview has appeared in a newspaper in West Bengal. Can you just tell us a little more in detail what exactly has the Prime Minister said? All right, we've got Mr. Tom Vadakkan of the Congress Party on the phone line with us. Good morning, Mr. Vadakkan. What do you make of the Prime Minister now speaking out? The entire BJP top brass, the two main significant people in BJP, the Prime Minister as well as Amit Shah, the BJP President, both say that we have got no role to play in the Dadri lynching incident, and also they call this unfortunate.
Congratulations. Breaking news for you. It is a Rip Van Winkle awakening. Events have happened. The country has reacted. Writers are returning awards. The whole country, Padma Shri awards are being returned. And yes, now the awakening has happened. Congratulations, it has happened.
No, but what seems to be the Congress Party's position, Mr. Vadakkan, beyond the sarcasm, which is pretty obvious?
This is not about sarcasm. This is about the event that has happened. The Congress Party has said what it has to say on this issue. We said it on the day it happened. We went there, we were on the spot. Our Vice President didn't speak about it on the spot. We are not trying to politicize anything, but what has happened is a black deed. And today the Prime Minister has woken. It's good for him and good for the country. But yes, it's a little too late, isn't it so?
No, but then the Prime Minister in his interview has also been quoted as saying that he never went there and there were attempts that were made to politicize this entire event by the opposition. So he's not relenting on that front. He still feels that the politicization is happening by his political opponents, and by extension that means your party.
Who orchestrated the deed? Question mark hangs. They blame the state government blames the centre. Let there be an investigation and let them come clean. Politicization is an after event. We are not saying that anything in politics gets politicized because there is a cause and effect. Who started it all and why? And this time of election, now this question goes back to the BJP. Why did they start it all? And why was it timed with Bihar elections? These are questions, that hard questions that they need to answer.
Mr. Vadakan, my final question to you before we let you go. Who do you think is the Prime Minister's message directed, directed at? Is it his own men? Because in an interview to India Today, even the second in command, Amit Shah, said that Sangeet Som should not have gone to the spot. So is this a message to people at large, the opposition, or to his own people? Members of his
Well,
own
one
party?
really doesn't know, but I don't think the message is to his own people. It is to the electorate trying to correct online what damage has been done. This is an online correction, an attempt to salvage the elections in Bihar in the last moments.
Okay. Mr. Vadakan, many thanks for joining us at this moment. Javed Ansari is still on the phone line. Javed, you heard the Congress's position, which is interesting. They say that all this is being done keeping the Bihar elections in mind, because there seems to be some... Okay, let's get in Mr. Nalin Kohli of the BJP, who's on the phone line with us. Mr. Kohli, the Prime Minister has spoken out. He has spoken out on the Dadri lynching incident. He has spoken out on the Ghulam Ali concert cancelled incident, calling them unfortunate, then calling them sad incidents. First of all, your initial reaction.
Well, of course, the Prime Minister has been speaking consistently from the time before he was sworn in as the Prime Minister, from Central Hall of Parliament to 15th August to later in the year at a Bishops' Conference. Whenever there have been incidents like this, he has consistently said what is the message of the government. The message of the government is politics of development. No, and as recently as in Bihar campaign, he has pointed out that these kind of incidents that could in any way threaten the secular fabric of India, we should listen to what the Honorable President has said, and we should also not listen to any leader, political leader, who tries to vitiate it. And he went to the extent of saying, even if it were Narendra Modi. So I think the Prime Minister's message has never changed. It is only our political opponents who are consistently working on what I call an agenda of negativity, an agenda of fear, trying to create fear psychosis, trying to play that kind of politics, who keep raising questions about the agenda of the government. But the agenda of the government hasn't changed.
But Mr.
Even on the
Kohli,
Dadri incident, if you would recall, Mr. Arun Jaitley spoke about it, Mr. Rajnath Singh said it, Mr. Nitin Gadkari said it, the Home Ministry came out with an advisory, but were these not the voice of the government? Was it not the government of India doing its bit? So I think the message has been there. It's only that the negativity has come from the opposition parties, who are trying to create political mileage and create a psychosis of fear. So because they are unable to counter the politics of development.
is there, Mr. Kohli, this is an allegation that the Congress party is making. Is there a realization now within your top leadership that these incidents, somehow attached perhaps to the ruling combine at the center, is causing a bit of harm, and that's why it needs to be condemned at the topmost level?
The Congress party, before alleging anything as ludicrous and ridiculous as this, should read yesterday the judgment by the Honorable Supreme Court in the Sanjeev Bhatt case. The court has castigated and pointed out to the role of Congress party leaders who worked in collusion with Mr. Bhatt to try and even falsify things, come to the courts with unclean hands, and run an agenda that was not supported by correct intent, and run an agenda that was negative in every sense. So if the Congress party is trying to build an agenda based on this, they stand exposed. The BJP does not require lessons. And that's why I said that the BJP's politics is of development, of positivity in that sense, getting every Indian to improve their life. The Congress agenda is based on fear. And in the light or in the face of the politics of development, they don't have an answer. So they build their politics further in trying to build a fear psychosis.
Now, Mr. Kohli, my final question to you. This is the same question that I asked the Congress party as well. And they feel that, this is not correct. I'll frame the question in that way. Who do you think the Prime Minister's message, when he condemns incident like the one that happened in Dadri, who do you think the message is directed at? Is it the people at large, the opposition, or members of his own party? Because we've also interviewed Mr. Amit Shah, the second most powerful man in your party, and he says Mr. Sangeet Som should not have gone to Dadri. Who's his message for?
Two parts to your question in terms of the answer. First, the Prime Minister is the Prime Minister of India, of 125 crore Indians. His message is to India, to Indians across the spectrum. Those Indians are then eventually members of whatever political parties, social organizations, professionals, businessmen, labor, farmers. It doesn't matter. The message is across India, and he speaks for the government, he speaks for the agenda that the government under him works. A. Second, with regard to Mr. Amit Shah, our party president, his message is unequivocal too. And in Bihar also, if you would see what the election is down to, the election is primarily on the politics of development. It is only being obfuscated by those who don't have an answer to this politics of development that the BJP is presenting.
All right. All right, Mr. Nalin Kohli, appreciate you joining us this morning on the Prime Minister's interview. So we are getting you news in perspective. Two of the topmost leaders of the Bharatiya Janata Party, the Prime Minister as well as Amit Shah, who's the BJP president, both have now spoken out. Amit Shah in an exclusive interview clearing the air on a number of issues, and so has the Prime Minister done the same. Exact same words, exact same line. But there is a political point here, Javed, and if you were on to elaborate on that, number one, who is this message for? Is it for the own members of the BJP? And number two, does it come a little too late at this moment? Javed.
Those who feel that perhaps the Prime Minister ought to have said what he has said about a week or 10 days earlier. But that being said, the fact is that the Prime Minister has spoken. And now we can only hope and pray that this will have a salutary effect, and this will be a deterrent, act as a deterrent to those hardliners who feel that now that there is a BJP government for the first time at the center, it has provided them some kind of leeway to get away with whatever they want. Because the Prime Minister and Mr. Amit Shah, I'm sure that the Prime Minister realizes that the vote, the mandate in 2014 was for development, not for Hindutva or for them to come implement their right-wing agenda. And therefore, the Prime Minister perhaps realizes that the time has come for him to take a stand and say enough is enough. And now this message needs to percolate. Perhaps this ought to be followed up by some kind of a rap on the knuckles of those.
Absolutely, Javed. Javed, I was meaning to ask you exactly that question. Will this be a rap on the knuckles of all those within the BJP or certain parties which are sister concerns or affiliates of the Sangh Parivar? Will this be a strong message to them from the Prime Minister, and will there be any action or a crackdown that will follow?
Look, I'm not so sure if there will be a crackdown. But there are other ways of handling this. Perhaps maybe somebody at the level of Mr. Amit Shah should have a quiet word in the ear of people like Sadhvi Prachi and Sangeet Som and Mr. Balyan, who happens to be a minister in the union government, that they need to refrain. People have to be pulled up now. It's one thing to say something. This is the least that a Prime Minister of India can do. Now he needs to be able to walk the talk and draw a Lakshman Rekha that anybody crossing this will then have to be dealt with. This is what should follow. But nonetheless, having said that, I do believe that even if at this late stage, the statement is welcome.
Okay. Javed Ansari, many thanks for joining us at this moment. Let's also go across to Maha Siddiqui, who joins us live for more on this story. Maha, the Prime Minister has spoken, Amit Shah has spoken, both of them unequivocally saying the absolute same thing, condemning this incident. Many would criticize politically, though, that this comes a little too late in the day, perhaps a belated realization, keeping Bihar in mind. What are you hearing from your political sources across different political parties?
Well, absolutely, Sanket. Remember when just 2 days ago, Manohar Parrikar spoke exclusively with India Today, and he said that the entire beef controversy has sullied the image not just of the country but even the BJP as a party. And at that time, the Congress's first retort was that why is the BJP behaving like Rip Van Winkle, waking up on the eve of the Bihar elections and coming out with a clarification on beef. So clearly, this is going to be the line that the Congress party and other opposition parties are likely to take, that this interview or clarification or the rap, as you may want to call the Prime Minister's interview, comes at a time when Bihar is going to the polls, and perhaps the BJP feels that this issue might affect them in the polls. Let us also connect this, Sanket, to to the kind of opposition that the government is facing from the intellectuals in the country. There are at least 25 authors, writers who have returned their Sahitya Academy Award, Sahitya Kala Academy Award, Yuva Awards, and some have resigned from the Academy. All that to make a point that the freedom of expression is being throttled in the country. And also after the Dadri lynching episode, which many have rightfully termed as brutal. So that pressure was also building on the government, even though somebody like the Culture Minister, Dr. Mahesh Sharma, may have, rejected this kind of opposition from the intellectual world by saying, let them stop writing. But clearly, there was a sort of moral pressure that was building on the government. And that is the line that the opposition is going to take now, that the government is perhaps coming out with this clarification a little too late.
Okay, Maha Siddiqui, many thanks for joining us at this moment. Do remember at 10:30 we are going to play that exclusive interview with Amit Shah, the BJP party president. Once again, he spoke exclusively to India Today and pretty much said what the Prime Minister has also told a leading newspaper. Thanks very much, Maha Siddiqui and Javed Ansari, for joining us with all the latest.